How's it going today, guys? In this video, I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the Leupold DeltaPoint Pro. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share. These are both my first two pistol optics. I've been using them for about 3 to 4 years. Haven't had any big complaints. These cost about $450 to $550. These are both the night vision version. As you can see right there, it says NV. The NV costs a little bit more. I think the NVs are about $550, somewhere around there. And then the non-night vision version is around $450. They've been pretty good for the most part. I did have a couple issues with them. This is my carry gun right now, which I'm going to be changing a few things on. And then this used to be my old outside the waistband pistol. One of my problems I had was either with the battery cap or the battery. I had some cheaper batteries in there and they ended up dying. The emitter would actually cut off completely and I could no longer see my red dot. I ended up replacing them with some more name brand batteries, and I haven't had that issue so far, but I haven't been live firing this pistol a ton either, so I'm not sure if that issue would happen again. The battery compartment, it seems pretty good for the most part. I know a lot of people use these and haven't had problems with these. This is a spring actuated battery compartment. I just hold that little rubber button to turn it off. As you can see, it's off now. Before I mess with the battery compartment, but you just push it over and then this slides up and then your battery sticks to the little magnet on the top. You just push it down and then push that clip back over. I'm not sure if there's enough pressure on this or something with the spring was getting messed up. These aren't battle or duty rated optics. Range training and light use. I usually see them mounted on pistols. I know Lucas from T-Rex Arms likes to use these for offset red dots a lot. It does have a very nice and big window like you would want for your competition style optics, which I really do like, having that big window. It's pretty tall and it's really wide. So for tracking for your transitions or for your up and down recoil, it's going to be very easy, and that I have liked how the window is so big. The second problem I had was actually on this one, and my zero was actually bouncing around. I'd be shooting the gun and I could see the dot moving back and forth, so my zero was shifting. Something in the emitter was causing my red dot to move like this. Before I would shoot or after I would shoot, I could see my dot moving around. I ended up re-zeroing it, and again, I haven't had that problem, but those two things definitely worry me, especially on these two type of guns where I'm counting on them for my life. So definitely a little bit concerning there. I know they've worked for a lot of people, but for those reasons, I am actually switching to the new RMR HD. Your elevation and windage zeroing knobs right there. If you see these little Allen screws on the side, that's because you can mount your rear iron sight actually into that slot, which is pretty cool, and it can only sit in a specific spot, so you have to hold it in there real tight when you're trying to mount it. But you can mount it to the red dot instead of putting it in the Glock iron sight channel. I like that because it allows me to get a lower set of iron sights instead of using these ones from Ameriglow, which are like their biggest ones, and they're super freaking tall. I just don't like that. It doesn't look as good. It's not really a big deal when I'm comparing it to that shorter set. Definitely looks a lot better, not as big and bulky. It has really good battery life, and the reason that is because this is a shake awake. So if the optic doesn't sense movements for a certain period of time, it'll shut it off, and then when you go to grab it or move, it'll turn back on, which is a really cool feature. I actually like that a lot about this, saving battery. I haven't had a problem with that not kicking on when I need it to, but I do like that for the battery saving aspect. This is the only red dot I know that has that shake awake feature. I'm not sure why other companies don't do it more. It could be a reliability concern. With the night vision, you're just going to get a couple lower night vision settings. I wouldn't say this is necessary unless you specifically have night vision or want to use it for night vision in the future. I've never used these with night vision, so I wouldn't recommend spending the extra $100 unless you really want that. That little rubber piece right there is how you turn it on. You just click it once and it'll turn back on, and then if I click it again, it'll start to dim. So there it goes dimming. So the more you click it, it just goes up and down. Really easy control. I don't really like that being in there. I prefer the side buttons like on the Trijicon RMRs and stuff like that. Not a huge deal. That's just preference for me. And then you can see here, it has this little metal shroud or protective ring around here just to give it a little bit more durability, which I'm guessing would make it more durable than the SRO or optics like that without it. Seems to me like that would help a little bit for protection. If I were to get another optic like this, I would probably go with the SRO. I just like the window a little bit better, being that it's rounder. It almost seems a little bit bigger. Definitely can't go wrong with these, but I'd like to try out the SRO if I were to get another one. Not a bad option. And then I will do a quick install on this since I'm going to be taking these off anyways. So I have that taken off. If you don't have your slide milled, you will need to get it milled for this pattern or for whatever pattern red dot you're going to be using. If you have the MOS model, you will need an adapter plate. Sometimes Glock sends you these ones right here. They're pretty skinny and they do bend. I don't think they're made of very good material, but you can use these, and that's what I was using. I just don't like them. I would recommend an adapter plate from Forward Controls. They make really good adapter plates. But if you are using the Glock adapter plate, you will need the 04 to match that footprint. If you tighten down the red dot screws too much, it'll push into the bottom of the slide and actually push your plate up. So make sure you don't push these down too far. You'll see the plate start to lift up, and you definitely don't want that. The bigger holes will go towards the front. Definitely gonna want some Loctite on here, but for the demonstration, I'm not gonna throw any extra on. So just throw those in there. You're gonna need a T10 Torx bit for this. And then I highly recommend torquing your optics. Torque for optics is a big deal. You can ruin your optic or it can fall off or whatnot. So make sure to torque your optics. If not, just do it hand tight and don't overdo it, but make sure it's on there snug. I'm gonna torque the adapter plate to 13 inch-pounds. And then with this one, you will hear a click when it's finished. You're just gonna go back and forth between the two until it's nice and snug. So now that they're pretty close, just gonna go back and forth and just turn them really little. Even tension on the screws. There's one click, there's 2, 3, 4. I like to do it twice just so I can make sure. Then we're gonna switch to a T15 Torx bit, and then this optic is gonna be mounted 25 inch-pounds. So I'm going to rotate that to right there. Go ahead and throw that on. Take this, drop those in there. Make sure you're not cross-threading these. You shouldn't have much resistance at all when spinning them in there. You can see they'll spin in real easy. And then again, just go back and forth. When you're doing this, obviously you want to make sure you're clear. You can take it off the slide if you like. I didn't just for the sake of time, but I usually will take this off the slide. Just go back and forth. There's one click, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to check your adapter plate, make sure it's not pushing up at all, make sure it's still flat. This one's riding up a little bit, even though it is torqued to spec. Like, I can't get my fingernail in there, but I can get it in this side a little bit. These adapter plates are just pretty junk, or the screws are too long, but these are the ones from Leupold, so you can't really do anything there. It's as close as I can get it. That is the install for your Leupold DeltaPoint Pro. Very simple, pretty easy. If you want to take it off the slide, just make sure there's no round in the chamber, you're clear, no mag in there. Go ahead and pull the trigger, pull back your slide a hair, pull that down. It'll take it off, and then that's how you get it off. You can take off your barrel and spring if you want to. It's just a little bit easier. Just push that up. Just like that, and then that's how I usually do my installs. Just lighter, not a ton of stuff getting in the way, especially if you're trying to install iron sights with a tool. That makes it easier as well. I'll just go ahead and slide the barrel back in, take my recoil spring, put it in the hole, and then I'm going to push it down on the bottom stair or bottom lip. There's 2 little lips right there. You want to make sure it's on the bottom. I'm going to align the rails to where it slides in. And then you usually have to push it a little bit to the left so it can clear that metal piece. Make sure it clicks back. Feels normal. Trigger pull's fine. Trigger resets. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.